So which phone do you use?
So I am an avid Android user.
Okay.
I have major beef with Apple. Not that they did anything to me, but I just observed how the whole ecosystem is set up, and that's something that I'm very strongly against. For example, to connect to the Wi-Fi, if an Apple user wants someone else to connect to their Wi-Fi, if the other person is an Apple user, they can just airdrop the password. Also, airdrop is just marketed Bluetooth, which is crazy because why have to glorify Bluetooth after so many years of it already existing? But okay, I'll whatever. So you can airdrop the password and it works. But if the other person is an Android user, you can't really set up the password like that, and they have to type in the password and you have to tell them, which is okay, but the distinction is interesting. And also the opposite is not true. So if an Android user were to share the password with someone, they don't airdrop it. There's just a QR code that any phone user can scan and they can connect to the Wi-Fi. So it's I don't really get why we need airdrop to connect Wi-Fi. It's a bit much, and I just don't like the exclusivity that it brings. Maybe that is why some people like the brand, but I personally, no shade to anyone in this room, but yeah, I guess I kind of don't like excluding people from any experience. And so that's why I prefer to use Android. So thank you for letting me rant on this subject.
This is the most fire opening I've had over the past 10 odd episodes. And I think this just fits so well with the personality that you have, very inclusive but nice and oh my gosh, I still remember in Ignite, and
yeah,
all we were so approachable and were just had the widest smile.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't even remember having spoken to anybody else on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
So what a wild event.
Yeah, that was actually the first year. Some people in my batch came with the idea.
Okay.
Mostly because we wanted volunteering points. Yeah, we wanted the volunteering experience points. But also we had never had a fest for Marsville. So it was a nice project to work on.
And I think we set the bar pretty high. Greenwood is doing really well with Picnic now. It's become an annual thing. I'm so glad. I found out who
people might
part of the core committee is possible.
Yeah.
You were in 11th that year or 12th?
I think it was in 11th. I think it was in 12th.
Yeah. So you were captain, house captain. So
yeah.
That pretty fun. Did you like your house?
Yeah, for sure. I was very loyal. I was in Greenwood since I was in 5th. So I really, I don't know, very passionate. Yeah, it's I was very passionate about sports day and everything. I just felt bad because people kept picking me to run in the races, just thinking that because I'm a bit taller, I could run better, but I had no training. So I felt so bad. I was like, my house is going to lose because of me. But yeah, I contributed as much as I could in that sense.
So you eventually became captain.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge deal. And it was kind of a pseudo-democratic process as well.
Yes,
totally popular among your kids.
I think it's the teachers. Oh, the teachers. Yeah.
I hear, through the grapevine, they have these special votes that have more weightage.
Oh, that's the teachers. Yeah, I remember that. The teachers had 2 votes or something. Their vote counted for 2 points, and students would be 1 point or something like that.
one of the, I think towards the end of my stint at Yemoe, we had these election, what's it called? The speech that they give to present themselves. And this boy, Sanjay, who was running for Topaz, in his speech, he took a piece of paper at the beginning. He's like, tore it up. And he said, I'm going to speak from here. And he threw it out afterwards. And then he found it, hilarious. And in that, he talks like a Thanos reference, which was like on the rage back in the day. The entire stadium erupted. I mean, I was not having it. It was like so surreal. The principals was right there. And he was not having it. Yeah, like they immediately started to like make us sit down and like calm us down. And everybody was giving his looks. I mean, the teachers. But I think it was more than clear that it was annoying. Yeah. And I remember, I think that was just before voting, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's usually like a day or two.
Oh.
Or maybe the same thing.
I think it was back to back, if I remember correctly. Maybe they didn't want us to lose classes when another did it. So the 3 or 4 contestants voted for each other, and I witnessed that happening, sitting together, and they were like supportive of each other. I'm like, damn, that is like such a beautiful moment. I really hope they cherish it as a core memory.
Also, your opponent, so if you lose, you're like, oh, should have just voted for myself.
Yeah, at least for Toba, there was no competition. When people stand up in the middle of your speech and start yelling, you know.
Sorry to anyone here who was Sanjay's opponent. You have no chance.
One of his competitors, like a teacher's daughter. So I found out afterwards that he swayed some of the decision making on who gets to contest for election. So just your average school job.
Yep.
What was your contesting experience like?
The first time it was like in 10th or 9th. I think a lot of it was also just based on like who already knew you, So for example, we were against there were like a bunch of contestants, and then one of them was also on the football team. So of course, like people know him. So it really makes sense that people are going to vote for someone they know. That I didn't really take it too badly because I was like, yeah, fair enough. Like why would people vote for me if they don't really know me? But I think the second time it was actually different in IB because the first time I was in ICSE, that's where you get nominated for the elections. And then the second time was in IB where actually you just give your own name.
Oh, self-nomination.
Yeah, exactly. So it's self-nomination. So then you kind of have to work on that on your own. That was like, I remember that was pretty intense. Like everyone really went all out for the campaigning. Like I remember I myself printed like stickers.
Wow.
Yeah, like stickers for people wear that said like vote for you or something. And I put posters. Everyone was putting up posters. I think in ICSE, I don't remember doing any of that stuff, but in IB it was like a big thing to like create and print these posters and like distribute them around school, stick them up around school so people would like see you, know you and stuff. So I guess maybe that was a bit of more fair competition. I don't really know. But yeah, it was a different experience for sure in both. Yeah.
Oh man. The weeks before election, like the entire campus would be full of these posters and chart papers.
Yeah, because we didn't have that. Like in my year in ICFE, we didn't have that. So just like
I think
your speech had to make the difference, or everyone.
Yeah, and we know which way people sway. So also, I think if you played like a sport, you were automatically very popular.
Yeah, and fair enough, because you like represent
the school exactly, and then like people are proud of you, especially if the team does well.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah.
I remember, just before I left school, our basketball team was amazing. And I was like on the bench because I couldn't spend enough time practicing and playing. But I did do a few tournaments. And then the other people who were hardcore players who would show up were on the core team. They'd go for every tournament. This one time, I had this really bad case of tonsillitis. I was back home, and in the middle of the day, the phone rings, and my mom picks it up, and she's like, "Somebody from the school has called." And I was like, "What is happening?" Because school coming home, our place was like the biggest taboo. And I was scared of that. I think for like the longest time before I realized that it's not a big deal. But I think it was just sensitized that way because my parents were just so occupied and busy that they couldn't deal with any stuff going done in school. They're like, hey, if I get a call from your school, it's said and done for we had, oh my gosh, we had diary notes. In fifth grade, I got 9 diary notes and I didn't get attention. And you know why I got diary notes? Because my nails were not cut, because I wasn't wearing my ID card, because I wasn't carrying a particular book to school. And I don't know how I just got so lucky.
9 is a lot.
9 is a lot.
Like, I was shit scared getting diary notes. Like, that's why I would do my homework in 9th grade. Because I thought if I don't do my homework, then I'm going to get diary notes, and then I'm going to get detention, and then it's going to lead to expulsion. Like, that's.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, that's just it. Like, that's my whole life ruined. So I just have to do my homework, I guess.
Talk about extrapolation.
Yeah.
No homework to expulsion.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, if I get 3 detentions, like, that's it. I'm getting
3 detentions was 1 suspension.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. I forgot the suspension. Yeah. Okay, maybe I can go to expulsion. Maybe I went to suspension. But I was like, I don't want to get suspended. Like, that's so bad. Yeah. So.
But I don't know, like, I felt like the diagnosis is super unfair. Like, who gives you a lot for like being late to class after lunch break?
Yeah, it's just a way to discipline you and to keep you.
Actually, it worked for us.
Yeah, for some of us it worked. For some, you didn't get detention. So, because you with 9 diary notes, you would get suspended.
I should have.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I should have just not done my homework, apparently. Like, it wasn't going to make a difference.
No, but like next year onwards, like 6th grade onwards, I didn't get right. Also, like, maybe it was like 1 or 2, or if it hit 3, it was like Swagi Dyer and like very minor offenses. And there was like a goody two shoes kind of boy. So I think the teachers kind of just let it fly under the radar super late for them, because my friends would not pick me up from school. They literally said, if they hold you back, you come back on Monday.
Oh my god, okay, they would not do that, you know that.
Dude, they were prepared to send an email saying, keep on the hostel for 2 days.
Oh my god.
And detention would end just after school wasn't.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, wow. I mean, looking back, I don't think they would have done that, but
you were just doing that also to scare.
But I'm not so. They're like people that were capable of it.
Just because they're capable doesn't mean they might do that to their child. Like, you didn't even have clothes.
No, oh my god, there was like one bag prepared, and they're like, this is the bag.
Oh my god, that's crazy. This is like crazy.
But yeah, I think.
Parenting hacks.
I mean, it worked, so I don't know.
It's big.
And I think my teachers also found out that like my parents would not have it if I got attention, so they gave me like a little bit of leeway. And I was so grateful and very, very sad about it, because if anybody found out, I think that would be the end of the special treatment if ever there was.
Yeah.
So thankfully didn't get held back. But now I was kind of like thinking that I probably should have gotten retained once to know what it's like.
No, I didn't. My whole class, yeah, in 7th grade. It was just because we were not walking in line to our class. Like,
Can you imagine?
yeah, I don't even
That's
know.
so you could see.
Yeah, you're not walking in line and we were late. I don't know why we got detention, to be honest. So at least it was the entire class. So we all had to stay back. It'll be great next day or something. It was so weird, so random, and then everyone's parents picked them up after school. That was a really weird experience, but yeah, I'm a rebel like that. Yeah.
Sounds fun for me, honestly. Oh, wow. Class detention. I'm just trying to think of class punishment. Don't think we ever got away. But
Yes.
yeah. So our batch was the one that had 8 sections. Before that was 4. Before that was like 2 or 3. So there were always like sweeping changes, but it was very difficult to accommodate like twice the capacity. And I think got lucky a lot of ways, got unlucky a lot of ways. Like this one time there was a very popular musician, Pandit Hari Prasad.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. So our grade was the one that got cut because we were in 4th and there was 5th and above. And I still remember class teacher Chucky ma'am was like, if you sit silently, you can get it. And I was like, oh my god, yeah.
I love this experience.
One of these days when I visited Greenwood a few years ago, and I ran into her, and it was such a remarkable experience. 10 years, like more than 10 years.
Yeah.
The making. Wow. So, do you remember any teachers that you were close to?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say like my math teacher and also my class teacher for 9th and 10th. Her name is Vinita ma'am.
Oh,
Yeah, you know her?
Yeah, I think her name was Mrs. Vindelta.
Yeah, exactly. So she was my teacher those years, and she was just a really, really great teacher. Right? She was very kind. She was really good at what she did. And I remember I think it was the morning of a math exam or something. And she was telling us like, you can be as smart as you want, and maybe you're going to do well in exams in school, but what is really going to get you far in life is where you're hardworking. Like hard work gets you further than smartness or intelligence ever will. And I think that piece of advice like really stuck to me. But yeah, I think just in general, she is a really kind person. I also visited her a few years ago when I went back to school, and she remembered me.
Wow.
But that's probably because of friends on Facebook. So, like, not that I'm such a remarkable student that she remembered me, but it's just that we're friends on Facebook, so probably she sees me on there from time to time. Like, update my profile picture once in 3 years, like she'll see it. So she remembered me. She was really sweet. And the other teacher also taught me math in 8th grade. Her name is Reiki Ma'am.
Okay.
She was also just super sweet. Like I don't know, maybe she liked me or something, because she would always like come up to me here in class. Like, is everything okay? Like, are you able to understand?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so she was always just checking up on me and stuff. And yeah. My mom actually worked in school as well, like as a preschool teacher. So like first she taught LKG and then she got 2nd grade. But basically she knew Reiki Ma'am.
Okay.
So
I think that made like a little bit.
But yeah, exactly. So they like speak alone and stuff. Well, yeah. So she I keep saying she is a very nice person. So yeah, I think those are the two.
I mean, at least I hope.
Yeah.
You
for sure.
Kids these days can get can be a handful. So I wouldn't be surprised if she either describes that or is not no longer putting up these stuff. I had this science teacher called Padma.
Oh yeah, I know her. Actually, I know her niece. So her niece was in my class. Not for a very long time.
Who was that?
Maybe Suman.
Wow, me too.
Yeah.
Just right.
Yeah, I heard really good things about her actually.
She was like one of the finest teachers who had like a knack for getting through the kids. So very, very systematically, taught and explained. And I think her process-driven approach was something that helped me stay organized during math in 5th grade. Yeah. So she'd have this system, how she'd do like the first few sums of every exercise, and then the rest would be homework. And then, all in all, I think that was one of the most organized classes I remember from school. I also had this teacher, Anjala ma'am, who was like very new. She taught a year. I was in 6th and was our first math teacher. And I remember, this one time she got kind of sick of us making a lot of noise, and she started yelling to get us in order. And then she said things like, "Oh, you should have some ethics and etiquette." And I'm like, "Damn, those are such big words. I don't even know what they mean."
Yeah.
And I actually reconnected with her LinkedIn recently. As she's no longer a teacher.
Oh, yeah. Probably because of these guys.
I mean, she left far after we did, so hopefully not.
Yeah.
But I think I was part of a novel class. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I remember. Oh, sorry.
I
was just gonna say, I also remember one of my teachers shouting at me in 4th grade and 3rd grade. I think I was also one of her first. Yeah, she later on became the more.
Oh my God, you were the P coordinator.
Yeah. I was one of her pre-coordinator classes. I think I was also one of her first classes in Greek.
Was she like an English teacher? Oh.
Yeah. It was an she was English and math.
How does that work?
I don't know how that works, but I guess when you're teaching in 3rd grade,
okay, it doesn't matter.
They're learning fractions, so it's
If you're not able to do fractions,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So she was super sweet. So that's another teacher who I was first class.
Wow. I had Vinita too for think 9th grade. Most or 10. I don't remember, but this one time I think it was exam season. She was correcting papers, and before she'd given it out, she dropped by during lunch, or it was maybe some break, and she asked for a show of hands for the students that used to pay tuition.
Oh.
And I raised my hand because she was very, very disappointed.
Oh.
She literally said, "Oh, Neel, you take tuitions? I did not expect you to be taking tuitions at all." And I was like, "Oh my God." And there were these few kids in class who she just noted down, didn't care about, she, almost as if she expected it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God, did I just break her day?" But
I guess it's just sometimes you need that extra bit of help to do better in exams and stuff. Also because exam marks are taken so seriously in India.
Yeah.
It almost you have to take tuitions, otherwise it's just you're gonna fail the grade, So
I mean, getting back at how insignificant and immaterial it was, I just really wish I spent more time doing more things that I liked. When did you finally give in and start taking tuitions?
11th grade actually. So I took a while before I went. Wow. Probably because up till then, my mom or my dad would just teach me everything. Whenever I needed the help. So for math, it was always for math and physics. It was always my dad, and my mom would be there for history and biology or chemistry. Yeah,
so I guess that's where there was a difference because I started some kind of early tutoring as early as third grade. And my parents were like just not available. They were so occupied. We used to live in somewhat of a joint family. And I had like a younger sister, so a lot on their plate. So
so I guess for me in that sense, it was easier to get the tutoring at home. So that's why you go for tuitions. But in 11th, also things become tougher. My dad, way tougher. And also I think my dad was a bit more busy, but also you can't really reteach yourself calculus on an 11th grade level when you have a full-time job. You know, it's like, where are you? First you have to put in the time to teach it to yourself and then to teach it to someone else.
I do need to learn it well enough to teach it and fast enough so that before it's
exactly. So you're really on a time crunch in that sense. So I started going for math tuitions in 11th grade. And actually, you won't believe it, but I went for English tuitions as well. Like, I was really embarrassed. So IB English is very different. Y'all, thank you so much. But IB English is very different. So I think the transition was just difficult for me to adjust to because in ICC it's like all mugging up. You know, it's just mugging.
You're doing merchant of Venice and like that. And then you go to real functional English.
It's not as that, but I think just what you actually do after going through these works is different. So like for us in ICC, we just kind of memorize
the stories of law.
Exactly. Like the quotes, like who said what to who. Honestly, I don't know why that's relevant. Like why do we have to know when Antonio said what to the other person? Like I don't know why that's relevant. But then in IB, what they do is like they analyze it and then they like I don't even remember. I don't even want to remember. To be honest, I hated it. And I used to let it fail. I used to fail in English. And I was like, this is my first language. How am I failing English? This is so embarrassing. And so I started going for English tuitions as well. So that's when I started going. And actually, I made some really great friends through tuition. So I'm actually glad in a way that I did end up going for tuitions.
Was that?
Yeah, exactly.
So tuitions at 11th, I actually stopped taking tuitions in the night.
Really?
Yeah. So 10th grade also, I started to lay it off a little. I'm like, I'm just gonna manage this by myself. Let's see how things work out. Things were not working out during pre-port. I think that was first prelim of 10th grade was the first exam I ever failed in my life. And that was history. I failed by half a mark. And so we had passing as 40%.
Yeah.
I got 31 and a half on a DAT.
I did that on purpose.
Yes, it done on purpose. I was so sure. Like there was so much.
Come on, like you can get half a mark.
Yeah. So I think with internals I passed because I definitely got like more than 8.5 on 20. That year our teacher was new, was literally regular teaching, and she left like 3 months in or something. Wow. Yeah, apparently had another major life event. Also did not want to deal with us, maybe was being a tough bunch. So we were pretty much teacherless for like a very long time. And I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this. I've heard boards are slightly easier, so I'm just going to wing it. Let's see what happens.
Oh my God.
Between film 1 and history boards, I did not touch the history book. Not once. And I got really lucky. I scored really well. Yeah.
How did you know the answers to any of the questions? Any of the three?
I feel like the prelims they made for exam were like for a third year bachelor's that was and the board exam was like a 5th grade or a 7th grade level.
But still, I mean, you had to know the...
I knew the content.
Yeah.
It's just that the questions were all so difficult in art films, and we were just so reputed for like having really tough exams.
Really? I don't actually know that, but makes sense because I also did terrible.
Only consumers.
Yeah.
But I'd heard this from around, and there was a point where in ninth grade when I used to go to tuitions, we'd have like question papers from other schools.
Yeah.
And I'd see those and I'm like, okay, this seems like far more solvable than what I was doing over here. So the same board, same syllabus, same everything. If there's like a difficulty difference, then probably the paper. So
I was praising Vinita and then for me the pre-lit paper.
I think we're doing like fine because we had those depressing periods in school. Really taught us to bounce back and keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't think I would have handled failure as well as I do now if it wasn't for like the Peter and doctors. I just wish someone had taught us how to deal with it better instead of just like throwing us into the deep end and letting us figure it out.
Yeah, failing English was really the last straw for me. I was like, I must be supremely dumb to fail an exam in my native language. I was like, this is bad. This is not good. So yeah.
And ninth grade was like, so the difficulty jumps beyond your imagination. And I was not doing very well academically as it was. But ninth grade is when I decided to lock in for the first time in my life. I felt like, okay, I'm sincere about this, serious. And the summer before ninth was like the tipping point of the build-up, where the parents are like, if you don't do well in 10th grade, you're going to fail in life. You're going to have to, do like blue collar work.
Okay, my mom is done the same thing. I should be like, you know what? It's even hard to be a gardener. Like, you have to know everything about the plants. And she was like, you can't even do that if you fail school. And I was like, okay, all right, that's cool. I guess I won't even become a gardener.
I think we've been through the motions pretty similarly. So I lock in. I remember like I gave up sleeping properly at student during assembly and then buses, and I just studied so hard. All of my assignments were mostly on time. And I was doing all right. At the end of the year, when I saw my final report card and it wasn't the figure I was hoping, I decided academics. I mean, this is not my
hard work is not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I slogged 12 hours a day, maybe more, for like 6 months non-stop, no breaks. And I was sick throughout, and I still studied through it. So ninth grade was the first time when I started getting episodes of tonsillitis inflammation. And it gets so bad, you can't eat or drink. Like, it's like there's a knife in your throat, and every time you try to swallow something, you're like, oh. So through that, going to the hospital and the doctor by myself, and then coming back and finishing my assignments at night, and pushing through the grogginess, and still not getting like even 80. I'm like, this is not it. So that's when I stopped studying. I dropped tuition. Thankfully, touchwood, it worked out. Would not recommend. But I think I got very lucky. But it did teach me to do hard work. So I appreciate that. The lesson I learned was to know why I'm working and for what. Because, daily wage laborers work equally, if not harder, than most of us.
Yeah.
But because they're not able to convert their effort into meaningful employment for themselves, they don't see the fruits of their labor. So I think that was the last straw for me. I don't think I've ever studied after ninth grade academically for anything. It's throughout college, throughout school, for the rest of it. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I admire your courage. I don't trust my intelligence that much.
The summer after ninth, actually, I enrolled in like entrepreneurship workshop. And I'm like, yes, this is it. This is gonna be me. All these people who fail in school go and build company. So,
And they do well, so you know.
yeah. So it ends up working out for them. And yeah, that's when I decided. So that summer, I pulled like one friend to do this with me, and he pulled another. So like we were a trio, was working out really well. We built an app, published it on the Play Store, having. Yeah, and I was doing all of this in 10th grade. My parents were not having it.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like, this boy has gotten distracted just before board exams. What do we do? And that was the year I started going to events in our schools. Yeah.
Oh, really? Why are you choosing this year to start lives?
That's when I also convinced them that I needed a smartphone. Terrible timing. I think it was that school year started in June, and June is when I thought, like, I convinced them that, hey, I need this phone. And they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because I made like a good enough case. But terrible timing. I think I was trying to push it off to like the end of time, which is like the milestone that we had discussed, but to coordinate with like the two friends that I did the app with, I could not do it with like my granny's phone anymore.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. It's like typing 30 times for a C. And like,
no, I think she had a smartphone by that time.
okay.
But still, I mean, I was hogging, all the times. So they're like, okay, this not going to work out. So when you went to tuitions, did you have like different tuition friends and different school friends? Or
so at first, kind of yes, because I just hung out with a different group of people initially in 11th. But then as time went on, I actually became pretty close to a lot of the people who I went to with my tuition group, because actually the way it worked was that each like everyone in my tuition group was from my year in Greenwood, so that we were all just classmates. Yeah, it's like you just put a bunch of different people in the same year and then they go for tuition together. So it's just that I do speak to these people in school, but then because we had to spend this time with each other, I ended up speaking more to them. And that I actually ended up becoming pretty close to them because I'd see them both in tuition and in school.
There's forcefully spending like the better part of
exactly
with them.
Yeah,
Maybe like 8 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, you see them at tuition, so you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna see you guys again for 2 hours.
You might as well.
Yeah. So I became really close to them, and I'm glad for that.
Are you still in touch with Akasta?
Yes, actually, and I even met 2 of them 2 months ago. So both of them are in the US. Oh wait, no, I only met 5.
Okay.
But yeah, so a lot of them are in the US now, and I recently traveled there. So when I was in their city, I messaged them. I was like, hey, like, are you free to meet? Like, let's meet up. And so we caught up since we hadn't met in like 6 years or something. So it was really nice to see each other, and so glad we did meet each other quite recently.
Yeah. Just reminds me of the story. I have this friend called Sahana, and she met one of her classmates coincidentally in Switzerland. Yeah, so she was visiting for vacation with her family, and when I met her recently, she was telling me about how they, ran into each other and like kind of semi-coordinated it. So that was quite nice. I in fact ran into one classmate of mine in a hotel in Malaysia with like giving breakfast.
That's so random.
It's so random, yeah. Like I saw him and he saw me and we were like, oh my gosh, yeah. And then like our fathers briefly spoke for like a few minutes, and I think we were like leaving and they were coming in or something like that. But such a small world, such a small world, like 8 billion people. That what are the odds?
I wish I met someone like that in any other place, but I've never done that. Like, I think whenever I met a school friend or someone from school, it's always been a coordinated meetup. There are these chance meetups, so I'm happy to hear these stories.
Perhaps it's destined in down the line. Thank you. That's sweet. When you do meet up, send me a message. Oh wow! Did you have any like trips during school or did it start?
Yeah, I did, and Vinita was there.
Oh.
So that's actually also another reason why I really liked her, because she was really good supervisor, I guess.
Yeah.
So we went to Coorg, and this was in 10th grade. It was like right after one of our term exams, and this is actually funny because I'm linking it back to the previous topic we were talking about failing and stuff. But I thought I did so well in this physics exam. Like, I thought I was gonna get like close to full marks on this exam. And I came home and told my friend, "Whoa, it was so good!" And I've never done that before. So they were like, "Oh, nice!" And then right after that, we had the Coorg trip, which was super fun. Like, I guess you know what's coming, but it was a really fun trip. I think it's just nice to see all your school friends outside in that outside setting. Yeah. So it was a nice bus ride. It was a nice resort that we stayed in. And yeah, it was overall a good trip. And then when I came back, I saw that I almost failed the physics exam. And that's never happened before. Like, I was close. It was really close to failing. I still remember it. I got 37 and a half on 80. And I thought I aced this exam.
Why should not?
Apparently, my physics is terrible. Like, so yeah, that's how I remember my Coorg trip. But yeah, very, very eventful few days. And yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, and of course the regular Wonderla trips.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I totally buried them deep in my hippocampus of personal memories.
Okay. Very specific, but okay.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. I really love those trips.
We'd wear the sports uniform, all in our different house colors.
Yeah.
And there was so much of lining up in Maldertown.
Yeah. It's really
like they organized it well. Made sure none of us got lost. but yeah, they were like pretty stringent about the timings. One of these Wonderland trips, we were coming back and the windshield of the bus I was in came loose. And like 3 buses pulled over on the side of the highway, and 2 of the conductors came from the other bus and they held it up for the entire trip. Back from basically Wonderland to school.
Oh my god.
I know. And back then I was being like such a spoiled brat. I was like, oh, why do they have such shitty buses? And like, why can't I ever get the good bus? And I was going through this symphony of coincidences where I'd somehow always end up with like a very bad bus, whether it was for school or like school trip or like anything. It would be like the oldest bus they had, the AC wasn't working properly, and like everything was dusty and dirty and had like mulch. But yeah, but when I grew a little older and I realized how difficult it would have been to stand still for 2 hours supporting like that heavy giant glass.
True.
Making sure we reached safely. I could never even understand how ungrateful I was. But more than that, how much effort they put in to make sure.
I think we tend to do that a lot when you come from a different environment. Like, you're just raised to believe that everything is going to be done for you, everything's going to be in perfect condition, and that when it's not, you just kind of blame the universe, and you don't recognize like there are people working to make it okay. You know, people are putting in the effort to make things, to get things back to normal, and we just tend to miss it. So
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I was like always grateful to the support staff. I had a beef with the school, not with the people.
No, that's why I mean you just blame the universe.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, it's always me. I'm the bad luck charm. Yeah.
I'm so glad it's been a very long time. I grew out of that. I actually now, realized over the years that our emotions tend to make us spiral. So when we're having like good emotions, we need to ride the wave. And when we're not having it, we need to break the pattern.
Yeah.
So like,
I think that's good.
I don't know, I've just been so much more generally happier as opposed to just being melancholy, low-key depressed in like ninth grade. So it's nice when your default is not sadness.
That's true. I feel like also that period is really difficult because you're going through puberty. Like you're just going through so many different changes, and then on top of that, to have a difficult curriculum is like, it's just a cherry on top, you know. It's like I am already not
the perfect storm.
I'm getting so much acne. I'm dealing with a lot of insecurities right now, and then you decide to throw this at me, which also makes me insecure about my intelligence. And a lot of people, I think, feel very stupid in school, which is really sad, you know, because marks are not really the measure of anyone's intelligence, but we're just kind of taught that it is.
Except the class top.
Yeah.
Which you were for a very long time.
I really, no. I wish. I actually never was, and so then when I ended up doing really well in 10th, a lot of teachers were very surprised, especially my Hindi teacher. I don't speak Hindi at home. So I mean, I know Hindi because my mom is basically fluent, but then, my speaking is not so great. And it's okay, I would say. But then I actually, it's really funny, I ended up topping the grade for Hindi. So random.
Wow.
And then my teacher was like, yo, this is so nice. I never expected you to top the class. And I was like, yeah, same.
Both sister.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I opened the results with my dad and I was like reading it out. I was like, that can't be my Hindi score, but I must have mugged it up really well to get that score. So it's just, you're dealing with a lot at that time. And I can imagine why we're always just melancholic and depressed.
And we read about Basan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my
God. Your dreams.
Oh my God. And we learn words like these.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Wow. Treasure Trove was the name of like the book of the short stories we have. I can't forget that.
I cried. Then I did.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
But it feels like the publisher named it the roast us.
Honestly,
calling it the treasure.
Why would you name it that? It's okay.
I get the player for it. So. That reminds me, we had this chemistry book by this author called Viraf J. Dalal.
Yeah, I remember. Oh my, it was the most depressing book ever, right? It was like this gray, white, and like this dull shade of blue.
They somehow sucked all the life out of all the colors they put in.
Yes, exactly.
I
didn't amount. And just because it was so depressing, I remember I would open the book and be like, why do I have to study this? It's so terrible.
I think you'd be happy to know by the time like I was leaving school, they fixed the colors.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad because it was really bad.
It was the most condensedly like populated book I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
There weren't many keywords in the background. And like, there was no text.
Yeah.
It was just like facts and statements, and whenever they'd have to like write a paragraph to explain, they just lose.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
And then I have to remember how to draw the distillation process. Like, I don't really understand why I have to know how to draw that. So random.
Wow.
Yeah, I hated that textbook. Thank you for bringing up that.
I remember some teacher showed us that his name was printed like in the foreword or acknowledgement. And I was like, oh wow, that's so cool, your name's printed in the book. And now I think, well, like, okay, cool, like not as big as a deal as a Harvard. But I think we were taught to treat books as gospels of truth. And very, very early on, I think in like second or third grade, when I didn't know how the internet worked, this friend of mine told me that the internet's not always right and people put stuff on the internet. And I was like, what? What are you saying? Like, I don't believe you. And I just had like this mini crisis. I was like, oh my God, this challenges my existence.
Existential crisis, I hate.
Basically, like, and I think I just blocked it out eventually, but I couldn't fathom how the internet worked. And now there are platforms like Reddit and where people are like eating one small rock a day is healthy. So I'm like, yeah, maybe he was onto something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably.
When Google, launched Gemini, and I was giving out these funny responses like, oh, you should put like glue on your pizza to make it taste good. And I looked into it, I got the training data, and I'm like, this kid was really on to something. Like, I thankfully didn't spend as much time on the internet back then, but if I did, I don't know what I would be doing. Sure. Probably some pretty messed up things shouldn't have been.
Also, I totally forgot to ask you, but did you ever go on school trips?
I think we had a Kerala trip.
Oh,
There was like
that's really nice.
7 the next day. And they took us by flight.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, very fancy.
Yeah.
I also remember one of these distant relatives had like this broken phone that they weren't using. So my parents like borrowed it for like a few days and gave it to me to take, and I had like that mini hotspot, like the Airtel 4G dongle. Oh my god! And I was like one of the few kids that had it. Yeah, cool kid. And up until we reached like the hills, it was working really well, and everyone was like asking me for it. So it reached a point where I'd memorized the random string of characters. That was the password, which was like a sticker stuck on the back. Not an elegant solution, but functional.
And that time you put an
airdrop password. You really had a tough time getting passwords, hadn't you? No, you couldn't. And even if you could, I don't think back then the kids had iPhones to be the.
You just had to be an accurate user, right?
And never been QRs were the thing back then.
No.
So, wild days. Oh my god. And like in the bus, when my data stopped working, there was like this one girl whose data was still working. And somehow, it was either a girl or a guy, I don't remember. But basically, I convinced them to give it to me instead of somebody else. I felt like such a champ. And that person was like, really did not want to make the decision, was not having it. I've said having it far too many times, but it's okay. Yes, it's one of those seasons.
Yes.
Speaking of, what's your plan for Christmas?
I have actually been invited for dinner at my friend's place, and we're going to do something called a white elephant gift exchange.
White elephant gift exchange. That sounds like the name of a very fancy building from like 45 years ago.
That's true, but it's so I don't know how the name came about, but basically everyone who's being part of the event just buys a very generic gift. And then what you're supposed to do is you could either wrap it how it's actually been wrapped, or you can wrap it in like a funny style to make it seem like it's something else.
Yeah.
And then what you have to do is someone picks a gift to take, and then the next person can either choose to take another gift from the pile or to steal the first person's gift if they think that gift would be better than everything else. So then you keep doing that until everyone is satisfied with what they have, and then you open your gift. But things you don't know what you're going to get, you just kind of have to trust.
Thing.
Yeah, exactly. You have to trust the wrapping, everything. So that's
why. Are you good at wrapping?
I'm very okay. Like, I can wrap a box, but to wrap something in a different shape that's a bit difficult. So let's see.
And then there are these like Japanese artists that do precision wrapping, and they like wrap without tape.
Yeah.
Just the thing.
I see that. I don't know how they do that.
I feel like they break a few laws of physics. Speaking of, my gosh, that really reminds me of we had these shows on TV called Mad?
That.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. That dude is responsible for an entire generation of unfair, like fines and cars.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the OG 5-minute club.
Oh yeah, you're right. And there's also Mr. Maker.
Yeah.
And music art dance is like from India. So just self-reliance.
Pogo, was it? The channel?
Yeah.
And Cartoon Network. I never really understood syndication, and by the time I was old enough, there was like OTT. But I think come back from school, have like milk and snacks and watch.
Yeah. Music art dance.
Yeah, I think my parents didn't really like want me creating a mess at home, so they gently steered me away from crafts and ended up watching more cartoons.
Okay.
But definitely remember like this Sunday on which I was bored and probably watched him. I think I don't have any of these things he shows on TV.
Yeah, but if I did, I would make this.
I think about it.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm being honest, I probably was too lazy to
save.
But we did have to do craft in school. We had art.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was mandatory to like 5th grade.
Yeah,
something
it was.
like that. Or maybe a little later for you.
Yeah, it was. Didn't like it at all because they just made us color. Like I feel like there are many other art forms that we can do, but we just had to color all the time. Like, it's really not what I want to spend 40 minutes doing.
I feel like that was just like a secret strategy for them to sell supplies at the beginning.
Oh my god!
He was over
Yes, every single year. Because it was me and my brother's home. So we had like 2 of these sets every single year, and you couldn't say no for some reason.
Yeah.
But you had to say yes, which is so crazy.
I mean, I understand why now, because
we want to pay money.
Yes. Yeah, and also because of the way these systems design, the money the school makes cannot be drawn as profit. So how they eventually make money is get these contractors who like hyperinflate prices of these goods, and the markup would be how to make the money. So yeah, I mean, having unraveled the education system to a fair extent just put so many things into context. I'm like, wow, these people had this strategy 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now today we have like private equity coming into education and India, which is very, very scary for the future.
Really?
Yeah, more. So a lot of these companies that are school management groups are private limited that take like a fee from the non-profit trust, which is actually the entity which owns or operates the school or has the license, however it may be designed. These private equity companies are investing in these school management companies that are like maybe Orchids or these brands and chains that have like a group of schools under them, and then they're just like cutting costs and like consolidating operations among like a few schools. So yeah, making good money. Schools gotta get more expensive for kids. Our problems are gonna be unique to us, and the next generation would also crib about. It's crazy to think is happening, but say, Ravi, what you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you do any other activities in school? But
Yes, actually. So, well, I don't know. I'm going a bit back to like the trip hobby as well as activity because we also went to like Delhi, Amritsar, Shimla, and that was like a school group activity. So I think we had like from 5th till something, maybe like 9th or 10th grade.
yeah, I didn't remember this. I don't think.
Yeah, you would have been in 2nd. So
Yeah.
yeah, I never heard about it happening again after that one time. But yeah, we went around. So we went by train actually. It was like a 2-day train to Delhi.
Crazy.
We went.
How did you people manage?
It was okay actually. It's fine. If it was on 2 days, it would be like 1 day.
It was long. If you went by train the entire way, it takes that long even today. I'm sure it took way long.
No, not much longer. It was not that long, but yeah, we did that. So
Unbelievable.
I'm actually impressed by my 11-year-old self who actually did that. But it was fun. Life is like
yeah, I mean, you were with like
of course
so many.
In Shimla. I was actually very scared to run a mountain, but it was a good experience.
Did you think you followed the mountain?
Yes. Why are you laughing? Like that's a very genuine fear.
To follow the mountain.
Yeah. Follow the horse and then just fall a bit more, and then down you go.
You know, okay. Okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought. Even when you were on like a plane.
Oh no, I would have that fear, yes, but I'm not talking about that. Yeah, so it was a pretty cool trip. I remember we saw like the Wagah border, we saw Lotus Temple, a lot of different stuff actually. It was nice of our parents to let me go for that, trust me, and I had even taxpayers, but I got to exactly. And even a few of my friends as well signed up for it.
All of them? No? Oh.
No, not all of them. Well, a few of them. It was not for the whole class. Like I said, it was just for anyone who wanted to come between like 5th grade.
So that an opted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't figure that.
Yeah.
This one time they wanted to take us to the US or something.
For the NASA thing. Yeah. I was like, this is just a way to get money. So I'm not
same ways. I thought that as well, but it was actually very well priced. Nothing to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, it was super expensive, not affordable back then, but fairly well. I don't think the school made. Actually, they probably would have. No, probably would have. But yeah, I think this one time they called us during juice break. Oh my God, juice.
Yeah, I forgot.
To the principal's office or something. And they didn't tell us why. Okay. So they collected the potentially interested people's names a few days ago. And sure, let me just run out. Might as well find out the details. And I'd forgotten all about it. Suddenly somebody comes and asks you, like, the principal is calling. And this is like the first time in the year. So yeah, I almost cried. Yeah, I was super scared of authoritative figures back then. I thought that, it was the end of the world. And this one time in our bus, they started doing attendance on the register.
Oh, yeah.
So the akka in the bus handed us a register and made us write the names. And instead of flipping the entire interleaf, she just told us to write on the other half. Okay. And on one half of the page, there was 15 days. On the other half of the page, there was like 16 to 30. So you're not supposed to write a name on the column that's 16 to 30.
Oh.
Okay. because 16 to 30, so the day is late. So when you check, when you check, right? So we wrote that, and for that you got to commit the principal's office also, and I tried that day also. I realize now that was such a stupid thing to firstly be called out for, and secondly,
Also, it's not your fault if you're
yeah, exactly. And everybody else had already written, and I was in like 5th grade, and now like 10th graders would written it and send the register. So I'm like, okay. And I told that that's what I said when they asked me why I did this, and they're like, okay, this is like a very valid explanation. But
also, why are you really a fifth grader?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get why do teachers have beef with people who are like less than half their age?
Teachers, like Solon is one thing. We got called to the principal's room for this. And I think they understood that like it's not my fault, so they let me go. And then they're like, oh, don't cry, bacha. So scared. But then they're just like, you kids go to an international school, you should have the sense to know writing news there. And then stood my ground. I was like, given the circumstances, I obviously did not use
that. It's like, whoa, given the circumstances, you're using that in 5th grade.
So, I probably said it like, but they also did it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what Auntie told me. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so these were your school activities. Because I also had CCA, but I'm not sure if you had the time for CCA while you were to the principal's office.
I think apart from the 2 times, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
My CCA initially, I remember it was such a big decision to make that he was like this.
Yeah, there's a big list, right?
A big list of activities. They print out the paper on like an A4 size sheet, and there would be like first preference, second preference, third preference, in case you would get like fully subscribed. And they'd give us like a week or 2 to switch around if we didn't like it. So I don't remember. I think I chose like public speaking at one of the urgent grades because, this is like the logical thing to do. This is the smart kid activity. And then like I didn't like the teacher. I think she was super strict. And I was pretending to be like the silent boy because I didn't want to get scolded.
Of course.
And then like one of these debates was about lead in Maggie and how if it is like safe to eat or not. And I was like, this is like terrorism. And the teacher's like, this silent boy said that. Whoa. So I was like, okay, wow. Apparently I'm impressed with and yeah, I switched up to drama club after that.
my God, I was also in drama.
Really?
1 year. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, nobody. And drama club was so chill. Wednesday afternoon, last 2 periods, teachers are like sitting and having biscuits, which they usually never, during like, they had such a professional, kind of interaction with us. Like I'd never seen them like sitting around and chilling and letting us do our thing. And because they were assigned to our CCA, and they really didn't want to do anything at the end of like a very long day in the middle of the week, they just gave us some activities and they're like, you don't shuffle us, we don't shuffle you. So, I remember definitely wasted fat, but fun stuff. I don't remember. I have a feeling I might have switched because of somebody. Like to get closer to a friend or something, but wow, it's really long. Look at that. After that, I think they allowed us to start doing sports as well, and I actually moved to like basketball, and then like that was that. Wow.
I also remember I chose basketball 1 year, and then I was like, what am I actually doing here now? Like this Sunday, or that was for just PE. But then I moved to volleyball. Because, I don't know, I think all my friends were choosing volleyball, and I was like, I just want to spend some time with them, so I'm going to go to volleyball.
Yeah, I think so. Initially, I used to play a lot of football, And then football was like super competitive at our school, and I wasn't very good at it. So I'm like, okay. And I think that's how I'm like, okay, let me try basketball. Start getting like some coaching, got pretty decent at it. In hindsight, it was a great decision. I lost all of like the baby fat I had in because of the coach that we had. Oh my god! So at home, he would make us and put on a freeze during like summer and run around. And by the end of it, it would get so bad I could not walk. Yeah, so like.
I thought, why is that like, if I'm running, when am I gonna actually play sport?
No, so he had a system. So this was like a private course, right? We had class 4 days a week, and then 2 days was fitness and 2 days was play. So I dreaded those fitness days, but if we skipped out on those, he'd say that everybody else plays and you do fitness on sport change, so we couldn't there. And oh my god, so that person was a trained police officer.
Oh, that is sweet.
Yeah, I mean, that is why he like pulled out all the stops, just gave us very very difficult training. Wish I stuck to it, but I think when boards rolled around, these things automatically became less difficult. So I was supposed to restart. I was still supposed to restart. Even growing up with like a swimming pool at the school and at home. I mean, like in the complex, I live in on the private school, just so we're on the same page. I never really appreciated how cool and fun it was. And now, like, my friends who didn't grow up with a swimming pool, they find it like to be a can't miss activity. And when I think swimming, I just think of the hassle beforehand, like you need to put oil, you need to shower, you need to change, and then after you take a shower again, and then change again, and then you're going to be tired for the rest of the day. So I haven't been super excited for my pool days, but I think it's honestly both good and bad. It kind of killed the wonder that I would have had otherwise, but also gave us like the opportunity to have a good time early on. So, did you swim?
Not in school, no. I thought it was really cool that the school had a swimming pool, but I didn't use it. And then my complex where we did have one, I used to go with my friends from time to time because they would be really into it. Like they would be in inter-school swimming competitions. So they were real competitive. Yeah. That wasn't me, so I just taught along. So yeah, I did swim. I actually told myself.
What?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Because I remember my friend would go for swimming classes, and then like I would see her do things when we went together, and then I was like, oh, I can just teach myself. And then I taught myself how to like float slowly, and then I taught myself how to swim.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went for a swim?
Probably more than a year ago, to be honest.
Sorry if you get this.
Oh no, I went last year. Yeah.
But I mean, I've gone to the pool on this Bombay trip that I just came back from. I swam a few laps, but gosh, it takes a lot of energy.
It does. It's really good for you.
I don't know. I think deluding myself that I should go again, but probably not gonna happen. So
maybe
I started in between recently, like a year or two ago, and then like some heavy bandwidth activity or task or period came along, and then this just became a thing of the past again. So yeah. Do you remember when I sent you like a Canada.com link?
Yeah.
You scheduled the catch up.
Yeah. That was so interesting though, because we do the same in Netherlands for calls, like a kind of informal but also formal calls. Like if you're, for example, volunteering for a university committee or event or something. And when you want to schedule a meeting, then we fill in the date picker. So then when you said that to me for like the most informal catch up ever, I was like, okay, I guess we're doing that. Sure, I don't mind.
Yeah, I think.
But it's quite helpful.
It's so convenient and strategic.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the tab in my calendar that I'm occupied. You don't have to do the IST to your conversion in your mind. And if your calendar's late, you'll see like green dots and all the slots that you're available. So, and I think I had just discovered cal.com then, or maybe like I just started using it. So I was just like using it all the time.
Yeah.
But man, this tool was built for the gods, or whoever was inspired to build. Just mind blowing.
Yeah. I actually used it 1 or 2 times, even to schedule like calls with my friends from school. Because now after school, we were at one point in 5 different time zones. And who's gonna do that calculation?
5 different time zones. We probably only have like 2 hours or everything.
Exactly. So then I use this tool. Actually, it was very helpful because they do the calculations for you, and then it's very easy to pick something. But I have done it 1 or 2 times, and it was helpful. So yeah.
And now that people adults are like becoming older adults, we have like calendars and work and so it's not like summer vacations where basically we're free all the time, except like the 2 hours so we can like go to class or something. Gosh, I wonder what kids today would do if they had like a summer without internet like we did, or like didn't know what to do with the internet.
I don't know.
Wow.
Just had to play outside of it.
Doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah.
To us.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh. Do you ever play video games, brother?
No, not really. I remember right before my family and I moved to Bangalore, we got a Wii. But I think we just didn't get back into it just because we were like unpacking for so long and then we just never really started again. So yeah, no, I played Minecraft 1 time and I got very frustrated. I was
Did you pay the $6 to purchase that? Or did you pirate it?
No. I probably pirated it because I don't remember paying.
Yeah.
So
you and the rest of the kids in the day.
Yeah. So I just played with someone else, and he was just finding it very entertaining. So that's why he was like, "Oh, we play together." But I was getting super frustrated because I was like, "Why are you able to build a house and I hadn't even laid like 1 brick?" I was like, "Why is this so difficult?" I was like, "I'm giving up. That's it. I have to be like just naturally good at this game, or else I don't want to play." So yeah, that was my experience with Minecraft.
That was the expectation with games, though, no? Because I mean, we want to be good at what we're playing, if we're doing it for reproduction, reproductive purposes. It did come mastery rules, though I get frustrated. Otherwise, my cousin was like this super academic guy, watches a lot of Minecraft tutorials on YouTube. And I used to fight with him all the time when we used to spend that together. Yeah, because I'm like, this is so boring. What are you doing? And like a few years ago, I realized he would just use so much of his brain to study. He just wanted to turn it off. And he'd see that plain, boring, meaningless video to like meaningfully disengage. And when I figured that out and I called him, and he's like, "You finally get it." So,
yeah. I also used to play this game called Pop Tropica.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I actually closed the site down just a few months ago, I think.
Oh, no.
But it was like a way to like build your own character, and then using that character you could like complete different missions in different worlds and stuff. It was quite cute actually. And yeah, I used to try and use like the cheat codes to win all the time. So yeah, YouTube has been useful for a long time for that. So yeah. I never really got into that, but I know a lot of people
Well, when you said site shut down, my mind immediately went to something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was such a good game. Lord by Disney, and they just completely killed it. But those were the days.
Yeah, definitely.
So now with all this AI making the content and all, this is game for Clash Royale.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Right, yeah.
So you know the context.
No, I don't know all
Okay.
yours. No, of
Okay, you know of it. So there are these different cards that battle in like a field, and you have like 3 minutes to like beat your opponent, and you need to have like choosing a card which is your deck. And essentially, like any game, everything eventually becomes play to win. Pay to win. And there was this amazing YouTube short I saw of this person who made like a very sentimental story of the journey for the players of the game. And they're like, oh, and then you use the forbidden card, the credit card. And I just absolutely love when he, unveiled this card he was making to be.
yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's unfortunately the destination of all games, because what otherwise is the incentive for somebody to build a game? True. When you moved from ICSE to IB, how is it like socially?
It was a pretty big change for me, I'd say. So I had a really good group of friends in ICSE who I had known since I was in 8th grade. And we became super close. And, I could share all these kinds of things with them, like where I thought I was going to do so well that physics exam and I totally failed it. And they had written the same exact exam. So, we had a lot of stuff to relate to. We talked to each other. We all went on that group trip together. We just known so much about each other and was really close to them. And then after 10th grade, like we all went to different places, not everyone, but like some people were in PUC, some people actually moved from Bangalore to another city, some stayed stayed in ISC, actually stayed ahead in ISC, and then the rest of us moved to IB. And not only was it a different curriculum, but it was also a whole different campus. It was pretty much like being in the same school, but also not.
But
It was very weird.
Same logo, same.
Yeah, it's like same uniform, same everything.
But like no stores.
Yeah, it's like you're just going into like a whole new school with maybe 1 or 2 familiar faces. And yeah, I think socially it was a bit difficult. Like, I can get along with people, but then making friends, find new people who you can also get along with and relate to so well, it's pretty difficult. So first year for sure, I was really not enjoying it. I was pretty like, why am I here? Why did I choose IB? I was like, I should have just chosen ISC, I was like, at least then the whole environment would be the same, and only the curriculum would be different. Because IB is also when I started feeling English. So I was like, nothing is going well in my life right now. I was like, I'm not doing well in any aspect of my life. And it was a really tough time, I would say, like socially, mentally, everything. So I would have to say, like, the people I met on my bus actually during that time did help me get through 11th grade. Like, it's so weird because I only had to spend 20 or 30 minutes at most on the bus since I lived close by. Yeah, I guess so. But just speaking to those people just made my day so much better. And I think I just really got along with them better. Like, I think also something I realized after making friends on the bus was that you don't have to make friends with people who are only your age. Yeah. Like, there are a lot more people out there and you can be friends with them. Yeah. So being on the bus with them really helped. because there were just different people I could speak to. I wasn't constrained to like the few people in my grade who, maybe I just didn't get along as well. So in the beginning, it was definitely really difficult, but it started getting easier as the year went on. So, yeah. What about you after 10?
I switched schools. I needed a fresh start.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, I knew that, hey, these are the mistakes I made. And like, I'd give anything to start over and like that fresh start. But at the time, it was really nice. I'm very, very happy and grateful for the friends I made. But it turns out like I dumped a lot of trauma on some people that I shouldn't have. And more than that, I wasn't considerate that they could probably have stuff going on too. So I didn't fully appreciate that or didn't realize it. So I turned out to be like not as didn't end up as well as I hoped, but it taught me a lot about people, especially not making assumptions about how other people are their life. And definitely broke like the biggest sort of myth I was carrying about I'm like the only sad person, that life is unfair to me and that everybody else needs like normal happy lives. I also realized that almost like a quarter or half the class had like some sort of a dysfunctional family in it. Like with the perspective, or from the perspective rather, of a traditional family unit. So yeah, that was quite interesting. But dealing with those people really helped me understand what um, social relationships should be like. But I don't think I was like super attached to a friend group as such. And the individual friendships that I did have, the few of them stayed. So.
Yeah, I get that. I think actually, not only the bus friends I was talking about, but also tuition friends.
Right.
In 11, that was when I was just really not having a good time. But I'm really glad I met them during that time because it helped me build stronger bonds with them. I'm still in touch with them to this day. So yeah, I think also maybe as we grow older, we realize that it's like even having a few really great quality friends can get you through anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, there was these two girls in my bus. One was 1 year and the other was 2 years older to me, and super, super grateful for everything they taught me. Like, I used to be like a very, very annoying kid who were always hiding, and I think, I don't know, somewhere along the way I picked up in early school that boys and girls can't be friends.
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
and it became such a huge part of my personality as a kid when I didn't know any better. We'd always be at odds in this. One day, I think there was like, things got pretty heated in the bus, and one of them went off on me and said that, I don't think you realize how annoying you are. And in the moment, I didn't really care. But then that day I went home, and there's like a fly that kept buzzing all around my face. And I absolutely lost my temper. And that was like my aha moment. I'm like, oh shit. Is this what they experience when they say I'm annoying? Is like what I'm experiencing right now with this fly. And the next day, I did a 180. I became like super gentle and calm and like relaxed. And they were scared. They were like, what is wrong with you? What has gotten into you? And they were like, this guy's going to do something now. He was just waiting for me to like, pull the rug from under their feet, and I keep trying, for which I'm setting them, which never really happened. But yeah. They kept asking what happened in my change, but I don't think I was ever able to like communicate this to them. But and then a few years after that, when I learned a lot of social cues just by observing them speak to each other. So I didn't know what was the right thing to say, like a particular comment or statement, and like what was a socially acceptable way to behave. And had it not been for them, I probably wouldn't have learned that my first sort of set of learnings for.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's really
I'm super, super grateful to them. I don't think they know this. Maybe they do. But yeah. I actually, like, once a year, I still message them, like, see, but it's tough to stay in touch.
Yeah.
Especially, it needs to be like a coordinated effort. Like, if they're like, if the response is like super slow, like takes a week or a month, you can't realistically catch up. And if there's no real communication, like a call or like hangout, then that becomes all the more trustworthy. So yeah, maybe I'm hoping someday I'd run it them at like a pizza shop, and then I will force them to sit for like half an hour. But yeah, it's quite nice. I think I was able to flourish in my new school because of the confidence I had while learning from how these people interact with each other.
That's really nice.
Yeah, we had this thing called the dictionary game, which my friend Vihan taught us, where we'd like he'd define a word from the dictionary, he'd carry a fucking dictionary and define it, and make us guess the word, or do the other way around. And I used to take the small tiffin of pistas, and we used to carry. Oh my gosh, cannot believe I'm having like these memories playing back in like HD. So I carry pista shells in this other tiffin, and we collect pista shells in our backpack as winners of each day's competition. And then at the end of the month, whoever had the most amount of shells. It's so cute. It's so cute. It's so innocent, and it's so pre-phones in school era. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. But and then I don't know if this is a false memory that my mind is concocted or not, but one of these days, one of them came up to me and said, "Oh, I had to clean my bag today, so I threw out all the pista shells." So, oh my god, that was such a core memory that was locked. So glad we're having this conversation. I'm gonna go write it down so I don't forget about it. So, growing up, who and what influenced you?
I would say growing up, a lot of my thoughts and just everything I, worked by and lived by was associated with my dad and my mom as well. I guess I just kind of saw like the lives that they built for themselves, the kind of childhood that I was having, the way that they were raising me, the way that they communicated with people around them. And I kind of thought to myself, yeah, I think this is definitely good place to start with, just having a role model or someone to think with. And so, yeah, I think they definitely influenced me a lot. And I also noticed that there are a lot of similarities between me and my dad, both for better or for worse. So I do see myself thinking and acting like him in a lot of situations. So maybe also just genetically, I am influenced by my dad. But I also see a very like empathetic side in my mom, which I have always really appreciated and loved. And so I really try to embrace that and practice that in my daily life as well. So I think definitely my parents are the ones who influenced me. because I also only lived with like my nuclear family. So just like my parents, my brother, me, because all relatives lived somewhere else. So there was no one else who I constantly had this interaction with. So yeah.
But that's quite nice. Yeah, I think for me it was my grandfather more than anyone. Because he never scolded me.
Yeah.
And like, every so often he'd cite me like a few bucks to go buy chips off the radar. And by the time I was old enough to sit and understand what he'd say, or like generally know what's going on, he had become like a fairly uh, you know calm and insightful person who had dealt with his vices and problems, and had like a very mature and wise perspective, as you'd expect. And I think because he also had a lot of time that he shared with me, so he influenced me to a greater extent.
Yeah.
Sure. But there was like weeks when I wouldn't even like speak to my father for like, I mean, except a few salutations or very basic things, because like I do the office before we break up, and he'd come back from office after. I mean, I do a school, but I'd say I do a school before he'd break up. He'd come back like just before dinner or whatever. So I'm busy. We like so good. So, given a chance, what would you change about your parents? And don't say nothing.
No. Maybe the need to fall into this path that they've seen everyone around them following to. Like after you study, go to university, get a bachelor's degree, then get a master's degree, and then start working at a job, and also try to work in the US just because they've heard of people doing that and they love so successful, and only then exactly, and yet only after that thinking about like your relationship and focusing on that part of your life, when in reality like things have changed now. Like especially as someone who studied computer science and is now working more or less in the tech field, like you don't see people necessarily like having master's degrees to succeed in their field. People who don't even have bachelor's degrees and are succeeding in their field just because maybe they followed another path or did a few other courses, but that's just the nature of today's world, where you don't need a degree to define you. And I understand like getting a bachelor's degree is like the very basic form of education. Like I can understand that, but then like a master's degree and working in on PhD and then moving on from that and working somewhere else is like, it is a good path, but it doesn't necessarily have to be everyone's path. So I think maybe that's just one thing that I would say, like everyone's path is different, should be respected.
If you had the freedom to choose your path, what would you have done otherwise?
I did consider like teaching, just because my mom is a teacher. I saw how much fun she has teaching, how much she really enjoys that. And I think it's a very what's the word? It's a very like giving job, like it helps you really contribute to society in that sense. And I was very inspired by that. And for a while I considered it. I did also consider studying like economics, just because I thought it would be cool, but then I actually ended up just choosing computer science for its practicality, and I think many people do. So yeah, I think that's maybe something I would change. I would also like to, do some more volunteer work and stuff, but I think that's still doable.
Yeah.
So that's not something that's completely out of my reach. Neither is teaching, but I guess I would have just started my whole path in a different way.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And what about you? Because you already started like your own company, this kind of thing. So, is there anything that you would do different?
Would I do differently? If I had the knowledge and intelligence I do now and the resources, I'd probably start earlier. I've faced it like a ludicrous amount of times growing up that could have been put to better use. And it wasn't even like time I enjoyed. It's like this time I was bored to a point it got frustrating. So knowing how to better use my time productively is something I would change. But yeah, I think that's probably the thing that would completely, I like to think, put me in a different place.
Yeah.
But I'm super happy with where I am right now, and I'm glad I have the freedom of choice to the extent I do, because I recognize a lot of people don't get it, and they go throughout their life locked into this social construct of responsibilities, and actually I'm not immediately obligated to contribute to larger unit. So all in all, if I was perhaps allowed to make the decision that did with lesser friction, it would have been nicer. But then I probably would not be able to defend or get the clarity of thought that I have right now. So it's tough. Also, building this mindset really is kept like a two-edged sword, where there is like the side that you think, but you automatically start thinking of how it wouldn't work out any other place. And even though the state helps you be happy, it's difficult to kind of switch it off at will. So, if knowledge work had no importance from tomorrow, what blue-collar job would you do?
Well, apparently gardening has been ruled out for me. So, I don't know. I don't know social work concepts. I don't think it's a blue collar job.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm just gonna go for dancing gardening, to be honest. I actually it's funny because a few months ago my friend was turning 25 and she had like a quarter life crisis party where you had to dress up as either your quarter life crisis or something that you predicted your quarter life crisis would be. And I dressed up as a gardener because I was in the phase of like buying more plants, and I was like, I'm totally gonna get into this, like taking care of plants and understanding what each plant needs, and I'm gonna I'm gonna be a plant mom, and my house is gonna be full of plants. So I actually dressed up as a gardener. So I'm gonna say gardener.
I probably like dry waters at the south side of Sri Lanka. It's my recency. It's my recency bias speaking. The also magnificent blues of the water, and wow, like, oh, by the way, we did something completely crazy. We took orders for self-drive and we self-drove. Yeah, you pay like $50 for like a license, a local like permit or whatever it is, and my friend Tanya, who organized the Writers Collective, made it happen. She's such a legend.
Wow.
So after the end of the trip, this was like 3 years where we extended it, and basically I had this giant suitcase. Okay, do not have a bag to carry clothes for like 2 or 3 days, and because we were in open limited space, so she packed my clothes in a towel and I hung around with
Oh
the
my
towels.
God.
Yeah. It was the wildest, most fun thing I've done. And she's so good with, being quick on her feet and Chicano like that. I absolutely love it. Like, a massive respect. Yeah. uh, just, I wish we had to go on one of the group tours she organizes because it's definitely going to be wild. In fact, I think in like a few days they're off to Kazakhstan for like snowboarding. And yeah, the Sri Lanka trip was for kite surfing. So she's taking like all these reckless activities and sports and making like a group trip out of it.
Cool.
And she's so selective. She interviews the people who apply.
Okay.
So that you can't just like pay and go. So yeah, brilliant experience.
Nice.
So who are your oldest friends that you're in touch with, and how do you maintain closeness?
My oldest friends are definitely the group that I told you about before. So the girls that I've been in contact with since I was in 8th grade, and some of them I actually met before that even, but I only got closer later on. But it's definitely gotten a lot tougher, like after we all graduated. Of course, like after 10th, we were all either in a different city or a different school. And then after 12th grade, we were in different colleges. So like in different continents, different time zones. So it's really difficult, and you have to really understand that it takes effort from everyone involved to really maintain the friendship. Because I don't think our friendship would have still lasted if it was just one-sided,
Yeah.
So even with my university friends who I still hang out with and I'm very close to as of today, it really takes effort from each person to maintain it with each other. So at first I used to think, oh, if I'm like connected to people on social media, it's enough. But everyone knows it's not, and over the years I realized I like to maintain individual friendship with people, but also just to maintain closeness with the group in itself. Scheduling meetups either through real life meetups or through calls is really helpful. And one of the ways that I've been able to do that with my group from India is because of my friend Aditi. Shout out to her actually. She found out this really cool thing. So she created this Google form where you answer like a bunch of questions. So it starts with basic questions like what's your favorite color, what's your favorite food, this and that. And then it slowly evolves into deeper questions, more meaningful questions like what's something in 2025 that you're really proud of? What's something in 2025 that you regret not doing? Or what is a friendship that you made this year that made you really happy? And then after everyone has answered the questions, we go through it on a call. And it's really nice just as a way to catch up, because sometimes you also don't really know what to talk about. You just kind of try to fit like 1 year or 5 years of things into like 2 hours, which is really difficult when you're a group of 6 girls, and so it's a really nice way for us to connect with each other, get to know what's actually going on in each other's lives, like the poor moments in each other's lives rather than just some work drama, And so it's really nice. I think that is one of the few ideas that have really, I guess, touched me, because it meant a lot that she also cared about us so much that she was willing to put this together, go through it, organize everything. And so, yeah, that's one of the ways that I maintain close to my friends.
She like the group moms for her.
Yeah, I guess so in that sense. Yeah, she definitely is.
A massive props to I'm gonna ask her.
Yeah, you should.
Like where she got the inspiration from, and these are the things that need to be propagated.
Yes, I agree.
Is the life that you have crafted aligned with what you wanted?
I think so, yes. Well, of course, for a long time didn't even really know what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to be happy. I think that was one of the really like very normal requirements that I wanted. And I have to say, like, I do have that.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I really like where I live right now. I really like the circle of friends I hang out with. I really enjoy my work and the team I work with. Getting there, it takes some time. But I'm definitely happy with what I have right now. So I would say maybe when I was in school, I thought I would become like a full-time developer, but that's okay if it didn't work out that way. So yeah, maybe it didn't fully align, but at least on the grounds of being happy and continuing to be happy, yeah, it has aligned.
I was reading the messages from like over the past 7 years.
Yeah.
There was this one where I sent saying that, give this life update and I know you'd be happy for me. This is why I'm sharing it with you. And I don't remember exactly what that update was, but I just can't express how grateful I am. Not able to share these things with people like you and yourself who could like genuinely feel happy, right? So this is a gentleman called Simon Select. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's like this popular author. There are a lot of clips of him on the internet. So in one of the clips, he kind of says that a lot of people have this friend group that they call in times of emergency or needs or when they need help. But there's like a smaller group when you want to share like your happiness and achievements. And that really like struck me so hard. So I'm just super, super happy right now.
Yeah, I'm really glad. Like, I think for sure you can measure how close you are to your friends by not only measuring when you can rely on them in bad times or sad times, but also when you can rely on them in good times. Yeah. Because a lot of people can just not want the best for you, And it's really rare to find people who can be genuinely happy for you. So
yeah. I mean, I can totally see so many people being like resourceful and helpful.
Yeah.
But then like not the kind who take good news well.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're the type of people who are maybe competitive.
I think one of these shows I was watching particularly well. People want you to be successful, but not as successful as they are.
Exactly.
Which is so crazy to think about, but also very, very deep and true.
Yeah.
And I've already established my eyes are on the prize, which is like multiple zeros. So
nice.
Yeah. Nice. How do you decide whom to trust when the stakes are high?
I think that is something that I built over a really long period of time. I usually, when stakes are high, I usually end up calling my parents first, just because they've lived longer than me, they have more life experience than me, and I do trust them. And then after that, I do trust a lot of the friends I've made, like, people I have kind of noticed will be there for me at a time like this when I really need their judgment, I really trust their opinion, and will be honest with me. I think that's probably one of the best things I look out for, like honesty. Because if someone is just trying to, like, okay, maybe it's not lying, but they're trying to smoothen out the truth, they're trying to sugarcoat the truth in order to not hurt your feelings, that also does change the decision that you might take. And so I would say I look for people who are genuinely honest with me about any situation that comes to them.
Interesting. So I had this friend in fourth grade who I really liked, and you were like a kind of like a mini G of three. Didn't really hang out all the time, but I think in fifth or sixth grade she left the school.
Okay.
And the third person from our trio moved to like IB.
Okay.
And we just forgotten about that, right? Until like we had this college friend in ninth grade. I ran into like the third person from the trio.
Really?
Yeah. And I absolutely feel awesome. Like I was so happy to see her again, and like dropped her a message, and she connected me to this person. And this person taught me psychology for one entire year.
Really?
Yeah, like with the kind of discipline, two days a week or 2 hours a week, every single, you know, chapter that there was for boards. And yeah, I cannot believe that, things worked out the way they did. To think that like a random run-in at a college fair would lead to reunification,
Yeah.
leading to like a group study, and then like she had the opportunity to go to the US for a semester, and she wasn't very sure, so she seeked counselor. And I was just really touched that she called me and asked for advice, and I have heard the decision. Yeah. Wow. Knowing that, you know, somebody is asking me for what I should do with such a significant decision in life makes you feel special for sure. And what would you like people to misunderstand less about you?
I have a tendency to always look for new people to meet in my city where I live or around there. And I don't know, I don't know exactly what people are thinking when I tell them about these stories, but my aim isn't just to make like as many service level connections as I can. Like that's not why I go looking for like new people to meet. It's just because I had the experience where meeting new people has really sometimes changed my opinion on the relationships I've had, the friendships I've had, and my general outlook on life. And I wouldn't have had that experience if I never actually took the chance to branch out and meet these people. And so a lot of the times I'm just kind of looking for people, to have fun with around the city, making have new experiences with, share these new experiences with. But also sometimes you never know when you can meet someone who will really change your outlook on a specific situation in your life, or who could teach you something new that you never thought about before from your old friendships and relationships. And so I guess that's one thing.
Wow. Okay. That's quite deep. And I mean, I'm just glad that I have, recently had one of those experiences that wasn't as surface level. I'd like to think it was engineered to find all the skills that I picked up over the years, but truth be told, I need to give more credit to like the luck and Charles and the arts, because it doesn't take a lot of theater. It takes rather very little to have gone differently for me to not have had the following encounter that it did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's time to like restart writing my gratitude journal.
Fair enough.
And keep the gods that write the plots of our lives happy.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Do you believe in luck?
I don't know. It's a difficult one. Like I want to believe that there is someone out there looking out for us, but I think looking at the state of the world, all of these things that are going on, it's hard to believe there is, why would God want suffering to be happening at this level in the world? So I want to believe there is one.
You're not so sure?
Yeah, so sure. What about you?
Oh, I think that there's like energy, and energy personified is God. And there's like a very detailed way to look at these things. And I definitely believe that there is a God. I don't think of like one particular, like single, uh, entity, but more like a diversified set. So it broadly aligns with like the Indic philosophies of the Advaita Vedanta.
Okay.
So yeah, and yeah, I find this school of thought to be quite convincing.
Nice. Okay. Pretty cool.
So, for the purpose of like a common person, yes, I believe in God. For the purpose of like an intellectual conversation, I believe that there are forces that make or break things, put things together, and is kind of conducted in an order that's difficult to explain. But have you watched this show called The Good Place?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like that's like a very, very, very diluted sort of philosophy of what might actually be. Like, I love the concept. I absolutely love the show. In fact, one of these people I met at Model Imagination was obsessed with it. but yeah, very interesting. So more on that, there's like a ledger of the deeds you do, and you're essentially going to be accountable for the consequences. Is something I like to believe, but helps me keep doing good. So
I think it's a nice motivation.
Yeah. But then it also kind of circles back to if you're motivated by doing good for like a particular outcome, then is what you're doing truly good? Or is it just you trying to, is it a means to an end to an outcome? So
is it a means to get challenged?
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Like, are you just doing the good deed so that your karmic account has like a positive balance? And if that is, then that definitely kind of reduces the altruistic nature of the deed you do, because it's not as altruistic. So they're very complicated. I think a lot about these things. And I think I've figured it out over the next few years. And even if I don't, it's fine. Just like, I know I'll be fine.
Yeah,
for sure. So to wrap things up, if your younger self was watching, what would surprise them?
Probably the place that I landed up in, the country and the sea, because I never really thought about staying in the Netherlands. It never really occurred to me because we never lived there. And so Europe in general was just never something I even thought about. So if I ever thought about it, I thought maybe I'll land up in the US at some point because I was born there.
Oh, okay. I also in the American city.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And so, yeah, I always probably just thought I would end up there, if not in Bangalore with my family. And so, having stayed now in the Netherlands for 6 years, I think that would definitely surprise my younger self. Like, wow, out of all the places, like the Netherlands, the place with the windmills, and it's a beautiful country. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
How does it feel paying federal taxes to the US government?
I actually don't have to because my income doesn't pass that requirement yet at bar where I have to pay both countries' taxes. So I have to file them, but I just have to say 0 to the US. So I'm still good on that front. Well, not that rich, but then I'm leaving it behind.
The things are just not coming out. I also think a lot of pay in Europe is in kind, like with the flexibility and PKO and like limited hours and healthcare and corridors for you.
Yeah.
Is it safe?
Yeah, it's really safe. So I'm really glad I'm there because I have complete freedom and independence to do whatever I want, which is really nice.
Growing up.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think I was finally allowed to go out by myself in like 10th grade, like take an autobus, like just go whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're right, I was talking to 6-year-olds in Japan just taking like the subway system or like the train.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of, have you seen like these unruly tourists that are completely destroying like the high-class society that Japan is?
It's not so much, I guess, but people are really annoyed at all the tourists at Amsterdam because I would say they have the highest number, of course, compared to the other towns and cities in the Netherlands. But I would say they're just like completely destroying culture and society in that case. It's still a very nice city according to me and international. But
yeah, I have to ask the locals.
Yeah, exactly. You would have to ask local that question. Yeah.
Okay. And 10, 15 years down the line, should you be watching this? What would you want to say to yourself?
I would say maybe keep making decisions that do make you happy. Like, don't compromise on your happiness over someone else's.
Wow, I think that's as good as it gets. I can get behind that message.
Yeah.
Alright, and with that, it's rants.
Thank you so much. It was very nice to be here.
Thanks for coming.